Sunday Meditation, April 1st, 1979. LL Research channeling Hatonn, Telonn, and Latwii. Carla channeling. I am the group consciousness of Hatonn, and I greet you in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. We are very pleased to be back in personal contact with you after an absence that was necessary, but we have found that our activities are needed now in your area, and so we have been assigned back on our usual post, which has pleased us very much. For to make contact with those beings whom we love is a great pleasure to us. Even though we are always aware of you, to speak through channels such as this one so that we make our thoughts known to you on a conceptual, vocal level is a special privilege, for we are then able to monitor our communication in microseconds of action and reaction, as of beings fused in one exchange of love. You see, my friends, we of the Confederation of Planets need you, just as you need us. In our reality, someone to love and cherish and help and inspire is as necessary to us as is food and drink to you. To us, those whom we have found to be serious students of the path of the Creator are as delicious as your meat and drink is to you, for you are the means whereby we can enlarge our own horizons of understanding. You are the means whereby we can learn more and more about the disciplines and interrelationships of what you may call the genetic personality. We study the Creator's arrangement of articulated love, which is manifested forth in His perfect beings. And as we see you dwelling in your heavy chemical illusion, fighting so valiantly to understand and to deal with the intensive emotions of that vibration, we are able to gain new depths of insight into the plan of the Father. We know that there is a plan, but its beginning and its end are shrouded in mystery, even for us. We only know that it is circular, and that when we are fully at one with the knowledge that we seek, there will be no time, space, or emptiness, and our own personalities will again become part of that one universal thought of love which created all that there is. We know that we will be sent forth again, new beginnings of new universes and new cycles of growth. That there are many things about this plan, which is infinite, about which we do not yet know. And it is in helping those of you upon the planet to whom we speak that we learn by the interaction between us more and more about the basic genetic personality that is common to all of us. We, of course, as we have said many times, have learned what we can in your illusion. We are now in another illusion, an illusion in which we can create by thought that which we need, in which we can see each other as vibrations, in which we can speak telepathically, and in which we can travel in time. But these are not goals. These are merely the marks of another step along the great line of evolution. We have not traveled to the end of the rainbow, as you would say. We have not found the pot of gold. We have only found that the road goes on, and that our companions became more and more loving, and the road more and more delightful. And so, in your day-to-day efforts to find your road and to follow it, knowing in your heart that good will come of this effort, it is a private effort, not one which you can share, not one which others will understand. So you do not use the symbols that many understand, for we do not speak in the symbols of any race or culture. We do not use the personalities of masters who have incarnated upon your planet, such as Jesus and Buddha and Lao Tse. Although we could do these things, we feel more honest in telling you that there is a road paved with love, designed with love, difficult to follow, but full of rewards. It is the road of those who seek the truth. You can believe with all your heart in a master who has incarnated, such as Jesus or Buddha or Lao Tse. It has no bearing on the road, for those things which one uses as walking sticks on that road are all acceptable. The road is the same. We ask you, therefore, when you hear religious and philosophical discussions, to know in your heart that each is correct. Each is right. All disagreements are disagreements, not about the road, not about love, not about the striving for truth, but merely about that stout walking stick which many use to give them confidence. This instrument prays to the one known as Jesus. We find this provincial but acceptable. We accept and love the one known as Jesus, but we call nothing master except the way of the creators, which is followed step by step in prayer or meditation, day by day. At this time, I would like to leave this instrument so that a brother may speak to this instrument. I am Hatonn. I am Telonn. I have not spoken to this group for some time, and I greet you in the love and the light of the infinite Creator and express my delight at being able to be with you at this time. I am called here by the group consciousness of this group and wish to work with you for a brief period of time. If you will be patient, I would like to work with your imagination. I would ask you, please, to allow your being to vibrate in a higher rate of spiritual vibration by visualizing a small white globe in the center of the room. It is very bright and round, and it is beginning to expand. Watch it expand until it has engulfed you completely, and then allow yourself to feel the zero gravity of light. We are working with you at this time. We ask you at this time to allow the consciousness within your light sphere to float out of your dwelling place and move up into the sky. Move about the clouds and look down. You are now a ball of light. If you will, a UFO. We must ask the one known as Carla to let go of her physical body as she is pulling the ball of light back. Very gently now, we ask you to allow the ball of light to re-enter your dwelling place. And your consciousnesses regain their seats within your physical vehicles. Feel the weight of gravity at this time and know that you will not always be so. I am Telonn. I leave you in the vibration of light, of eternity, and of the love of the Creator. I am Latwii. I am with you. I greet you in the love and the light, and am happy to tell you that my brother Hatonn has given us permission to speak with you, even though he is back, for he thinks we did a pretty good job while he was gone. And he says he is very surprised that we could talk with the local yokels without sounding like we were talking down. We thought we did pretty badly, so we were glad to hear that. We greet you, and we love you, and we are very glad that we are still able to speak with you, for the one known as Hatonn has had jurisdiction over your group for many years now, and we would not go against him for anything. Therefore, hello and love from us. We come to be buried within you, as our acorns. We come to be planted in you, as our seeds. For you are the seeds of tomorrow, and we hope to instill in you some of our thoughts and to see them bear fruit. We thank you for this privilege. May we open the meeting to questions at this time. There is a pause here, during which H enters. I am Latwii. We greet the one known as H and send her our love. We are aware that this is a shock to her system and will give her some time to adjust to our vibration. Therefore, we will pause for a few moments. There is a question which we would like to answer that has been asked by the channel herself, and we can only say to her that she must always choose the way of love and attempt not to intellectualize, but to give. That is the secret to loving. Therefore, if there is a conflict in her life, she must resolve it by loving. To love is an activity, even if nothing is done but a rearrangement of an attitude. Therefore, we ask the one known as Carla to consider the foundations of her being, that they are love, the original thought of the creation, which was love, and the guidance of those which are ahead of her, which you may call angels, and that higher self of hers which can help her, of the Creator itself, which is love. There is nothing to which she can turn that is not love. Therefore, ask for help, seek help, and you will receive it. And that help will be in the form of the grace to love, the wisdom to love, and the understanding to love. May we ask if there are other questions at this time? Questioner: a few weeks ago after meditation, we were discussing something I was not aware about or had heard about, but I was curious at the time, and I remember that we said we should ask questions during meditation. It had something to do with a boom, a sort of blast that seemed like a dynamite-type blast that was heard all over the city or in 2 or 3 parts of the city at the same time. Do you know about that? Latwii: we are aware of this problem, and it is this type of problem that has caused the brothers and sisters of our brother civilization, Hatonn, to come back to station at this time. The earth changes of which the Confederation has spoken many times have been taking place for many years, and the thinking of the people has become more and more polarized, thereby making the earth changes more easily occur. The sounds which you heard had to do with energies within the earth itself, which, interacting with the atmosphere, caused sharp delineations in layers of atmosphere, thereby causing these sounds, which were not entirely unlike what you would call thunder, but were caused not by the electrical disturbances in the air, but electrical disturbances from within the earth, We are back in the usual pattern of, shall we say, Earthwatch, which is our term for it. Due to the fact that even though the situations in the South Pacific, in the Middle East, and between Russia and China, as you call these parts of your land, are not resolved, nor are the leaders less bloody-minded than before, in Side 1 of the tape recording this session ends here. We pick up on Side 2. Carla is still channeling Latwii, but we begin Side 2 with the question. Questioner: another thing I want to understand clearly is, what does your explanation mean that there is some physical change in the center of the Earth? Or are you saying that there are energy powers that we are exuding that can't be seen that are causing this change in the Earth? Latwii: I am Latwii. Please be patient, for we are conditioning this instrument. I am Latwii. I am deepening this instrument's concentration at this time. I am Latwii. I am with the instrument. I am aware of your question. I am Latwii. We may begin by saying that the sounds which your group discussed were of a fairly local nature. Your question had two parts, and the second part was more complex. The Earth's crust has a much more carefully precise name which this instrument does not know, but part of it is unstable at this time. And there are shifts which are possible in this region, as well as in many others. Shifts that usually happen along what you call fault lines, but which can happen easily in areas where there are extensive underground openings, such as is true in your area. It simply means that there could be a geographical rearrangement of your terrain, which would involve a rearrangement of the molecules of many houses and people. It would be called a great disaster were it to happen. The reason that it is happening is centuries and centuries old, and begins 1,000 years before the birth of the master that signifies this period or cycle of your development. We speak of the one known as Jesus. In this time, many came into being from the previous cycle who had much karma to alleviate. Due to improper actions involving the use of power over other people, they were given 3,000 years in order to learn the lessons of love. When 1,000 years had passed, and the theory that there was one creator had barely begun to batter down the resistance of those who were not ready for the unity of all that there is, the Master incarnated and gave to the people of this planet that which is the truth to be learned. It has been reported badly in your holy works, but there are enough of his words in those books in order for you to be able to understand the lessons of love, forgiveness, and redemption which he encouraged his disciples to learn. However, the people have reportedly used this very name not to love, but to fight. Not to be peaceable, but to make war. The tensions, the disagreements, the dishonesty, the habitual lying between peoples has long involved nations, provinces, towns, communities. All levels of your civilization have been eaten by something which we would call a cancer, and that is the cancer of separation. Not knowing that all beings are one, and that what is done to another is done to oneself. We do those things which involve the concept of two beings. That involves the concept of an enemy or a competitor. That involves the concept of a wall between. This limits communication and increases polarity and hostility. And eventually, these vibrations sink into the planet itself. That which is most sensitive to these vibrations, the crust or the mantle of the earth, begin to move and drastically realign themselves, attempting to relieve the tensions of the planetary consciousness. Thus, yes, your people have caused these things over thousands of years. It is not unheard of for this to happen. It is something like the birth of a child. Going from one density into another is like being born. And your planet is being born at this time. The delivery so far has been difficult, but the baby is alive. There are those among you who wish to learn and wish to love, and we feel there is hope for you. Thus, we speak to you personally and not to your leaders, for we cannot deal with your nations with their concepts of competition and nationality. Does this answer your question? Questioner: Yes, thank you. Latwii: We thank you for our ability to share our thoughts with you. Is there another question at this time? We will leave this instrument at this time. We again greet the one known as H and hope that she has not been too taken aback by this unusual activity. We send a message to the one known as S, who has requested repeatedly that she simply be given a reassurance that she is heard and loved by the Confederation. We are always with the one known as S, and we love her and desire for the truth and encourage her in what may seem a lonely pilgrimage. That which is in the soil seems alone, but when it blooms, it may see the sun and the rain and speak with the birds. I leave this instrument now. We are so happy to be with you. We leave you in light and that which creates light, the love of the Creator. Adonai Vasu Boragas. I am Latwii.
Go forth then, rejoicing in the power and the peace of the one infinite Creator.